Hello everyone, and it's a auspicious and wonderful occasion to come together, both to a group of people. Meditating together is always auspicious. To reflect on the Dharma is auspicious. To spend a week appreciating the body, the tremendous value of finding a way to wake up into the body in maybe different ways than the karmic body that we often live in, but to know the other possibilities that maybe allow us to respect it in a deep way, appreciate it, to consider the miracle of it. And now coming to this day, talking about the liberated body, to this body that in a certain way we can say has cared for us for our lifetime. We can return the gift and provide it with freedom, the liberated body. And so to free the body from our attachments, to free our body from our judgments, to free our body from our desires, and to allow it to be, and to allow it to express itself, to be itself from the inside out, in the sense that from what emerges from within the body, not what's projected on it from the mind. And wondrous. So to assume a posture for this body that maybe expresses the dignity and value of the body. Assume a posture that, independent of how you feel perhaps, gives a chance for your body to feel present, respected, dignified, valued. Here in this body, taking a posture for this body to be rooted here in this place, to inhabit this time and place as if, not as if, with the idea that it belongs here. No shame, no diminishment, no self-effacing. Allowing this natural animal body we have to have as much rights to be alert and present in a nice way as a deer, alert. To the great view across a grassy meadow. Here. And to gently close your eyes. And sometimes if it was comfortable for you to close your eyes, closing the eyes is a way of transitioning to being connected to the body's experience of itself. Here. And the body thrives on oxygen that it breathes in and carbon dioxide that it exhales. And taking a few gentle, luxurious, deeper breaths to bring in the oxygen. And exhaling a long exhale to release the carbon dioxide which is no longer needed for this body. Breathing in and breathing out. Letting breathing return to normal. And taking a back seat relationship to your breathing. Without being a backseat driver, just allow the breath now to breathe itself. And if that's not possible, be okay with how it is. Be relaxed about whatever way you're breathing. Whether you are controlling your breathing or allowing the breath to breathe itself. Either way, the important work of the breathing, of the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, still happens. The purpose of breathing happens regardless of your role of and then seeing if you can release the tensions of your body, the ways in which the mind makes the work of the body a little bit more difficult, entangled, mixed up with the body. To release the tension of the shoulders. Release the tensions of the belly. Releasing any holding, tightening in the thighs, the legs. Releasing any holding in the small of your back. Softening, relaxing the hands. Maybe adjusting a little bit how the hands are so that the hands are more at ease. Relaxing the muscles of the face. Relaxing the mind, thinking mind, in such a way that the thinking mind is not interfering so much with the body. Part of the gift of relaxing the thinking mind is the way in which that might free up the body from the tensions and the pulls and pushes, activations that come with the activated mind. Softening the grip on your thinking. Relaxing the force that goes along with thinking. And then settling into your body, settling into your breathing. Trusting the body to breathe itself. Entrusting yourself to the care of the body. Allowing your thinking mind to soften, lighten up, release itself as you release yourself into the continuity of one breath after another. Breathing. And if it's possible, see if you can free the body from your thinking and judgments and attachments, ideas of what should be, and marvel at whatever way your body is. It's an amazing result of this evolution of animal life on this planet. The amazing window we have into the animal body, so much of it which we share with other mammals and animals. And this is the one that we have to experience from the inside. Maybe gazing upon it like a naturalist, gazing upon the deer and the animals, and wandering around in the woods, with an eye out for liberating the body from your attachments. And then as we come to the end of this sitting, to first say that liberation from suffering, liberation from clinging, attachments, is the liberation that Buddhism most emphasizes for each of us. However, it's helpful to consider that it isn't so much that you will be liberated. When you're liberated, you won't care so much about whether or not you're liberated. But what you will care about is that you're liberating everybody else from you. You're freeing everyone else from your attachments, your projections, your bias, your judgments. Just as you're liberating your body from all those, so we can free others. Allow everyone else the opportunity to live independent of any influence from attachment and clinging from us. May our liberation be a way of liberating others from any clinging and holding and resentment and hate and envy and jealousy, desires that we're caught up in. May our practice lead us to giving freedom to all beings. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. So then we come to the last talk in this 5-part series on the different ways to experience our body, the kaya, K-A-Y-A. And that the experience we have of our body is very much influenced by our states of mind, activities of mind, our thoughts, our judgments, our attachments. And as those shift and change, then the experience of the body changes as well. And when we practice, when the different kinds of states and ways that the mind works while we meditate, can give us a different experience of the body. Which experience is the true experience of the body? You know, is the one that you're most commonly, the most common way you feel your body and know your body? Is that how you really are, the true body? In fact, I think that there's no basis for deciding that the karmic body is the accurate body, or the real body. It's accurate enough as a karmic body, but that's what it is. It's experiencing the body through the lens or through the mind states that's caught in the world of karma. And as the mind becomes free of that world, relaxes, settles in, then sometimes we start feeling the joy body, and wonderful feelings of suffusing joy or well-being, contentment. And as practice deepens, then the tranquil body becomes more evident, and the body is just very peaceful, equanimous. And as mindfulness develops, we have the insight body, the body as experienced when through observation or perception that's very present, very attentive, but freed of the labels, ideas, concepts we overlay on top of experience. And part of the value of seeing free of all the concepts and ideas and seeing more the stream and the flow of the body is to loosen up the attachment to body, attachment to self in relationship to the body, and all attachments. And as we release our attachments, as clinging and grasping and striving and resisting, judging and bias and fear and hate finally quiet down, the experience of the body changes dramatically. And we can have the experience of the liberated body. And the liberated body is the body that's not entangled in the mind. The experience of the liberated body is a little bit the product of the mind, but it's the product of the mind free, non-clinging, at ease, peaceful. And so the result is that the body feels much more at ease, it feels lighter, it feels more refreshed. It doesn't have to live with the weight and the stress of the puppeteer, the mind, which is constantly maybe thinking and reacting and being afraid, being desirous, being angry, and all the ways that kind of seeps into the body. Certainly in muscles being tense, tight, but also in all kinds of chemicals that the body releases, stress chemicals and things that releases into the body from stressful activities of the mind and things of the mind. And so as the body gets freed of all this, it tends to have a feeling of more unity, of flow, of ease, a certain kind of delight, joy, lightness, the weightlessness in a way. A kind of grace goes with it. It just feels like there's almost like grace to move an arm or to walk or do anything. Maybe partly because it's all just kind of a wonder, a surprise, a delight. It's to be present for all that. The liberated body is one where we don't impose on the body all the issues of identification, me, myself, and mine. This is who I am. We don't put on the body expectations that it should be different, or judgments, ideas that interfere with the natural functioning of the body. A liberated body is a body that has a certain kind of harmony to it. And a body that all the parts of it as they are just fine as they are, in and of themselves. If a few days ago I injured my finger a little bit, and I kind of would like it to heal properly, and it is. It's not a small little cut, but my finger doesn't mind. My finger doesn't know that it should be any different. It's just a natural way in which this world exists this moment, that there's a finger with a cut in it. That from the point of view of our body in itself, whether we're bald or have long hair or thin hair or curly hair or kinky hair or straight hair, it's all just fine. It's all just from the inside out. It just is what it is. Just like you would look at a tree and you wouldn't say, well, that branch is all wrong, that it's the angle in which it's coming off the trunk, or it's twisted or bent in a certain way. It's just all the way that nature works and the way nature grows, and it can all kind of a marvel. So to give that kind of freedom to the body, and let the body be the body, let it be the natural event that it is, that we don't identify this is my body, we don't define ourselves by it, and at the same time we care for it. it is just as much worthy of our care, our love, as some other person or an animal. Some of you love your pet, and I don't know if your body should see as your pet exactly, but it could be something that you care for and love and treat well and with respect. It's not an afterthought. The body is not just a convenient vehicle for getting you from one place to the other. The body is, a valued, vital, important part of this whole process. So I wanted to read a couple of quotes from the ancient Buddhist texts. One is from the verses of the elder monks. And I delighted this little poem. And I see it as kind of a poem about a liberated body. Hey, my body is light, having been touched with vast joy and happiness. My body feels like it's floating, like cotton blowing in the wind. Here's another quote, actually from the Buddha himself. I immerse the body in the mind, and the mind in the body. And when I dwell, having entered upon a blissful perception and a buoyant perception in regard to the body, on that occasion, my body becomes more buoyant, malleable, wieldy, and luminous. A luminous body. So these are all different ways of experiencing the body. There is, the karmic body is not the only body to experience. And we want to kind of free ourselves from the idea that this is the real body, the singular real body. It's real enough. We have to respect the karmic body and take care of it on its own terms. But there are other ways of experiencing the body, and to free ourselves up from kind of an attachment or a fixity on this is how the body is, and I have to constantly negotiate and struggle and work with this. As the mind meditates, as the mind becomes freer, more concentrated, more insightful, the experience of the body changes. As the experience of the body changes, it in return it changes the mind. There's kind of a reciprocal relationship that goes on here. And so as you begin feeling the lightness of the body, the freedom of the body, the joy, the tranquility of the body, that's a lesson for the mind. That's a teaching to the mind of what's possible. It's a reminder of the mind to, yes, here, this is a good place to dwell, to be centered and relaxed here, as opposed to being carried away on the kind of freight trains of thoughts that carry us away. So the liberated body. It's fascinating to me that how dynamic, complex, sophisticated this human body is. That's so many systems working, so many complicated chemical systems, neurological systems, mechanical systems operating, that any one of us, even with a PhD in engineering and biochemistry, simply could not track it all and manage it all. It's an amazing, complicated thing that happens mostly on its own. And in addition to that, the mind itself is a wondrous thing. Most of the mind happens off stage. That we don't really know all the complicated ways in which the mind works as well. I don't think any of us is smart enough in our conscious self, the self that we consciously know, to direct and manage and supervise all the ways in which the brain works, the mind works, and all the ways in which the body works. The part that we can actually have some say and do, the part that we get attached to and get cling to and get preoccupied with, is actually a very small sliver of who we are in our totality. And it's remarkable how much trouble we can get into in this little slice of that we're conscious of, where we take, this is who I am, and this is what I have to do, and it's all up to me, and I have to navigate and do all this. This practice of ours can teach us what it's like to put that little sliver, that little subset of our whole, that subset which is the conscious part, if we can let that rest, let that be at peace, so that it can be informed, it can be guided by this huge percentage of who we are that we're not so conscious about. And that is where living a Dharma life, living a life that's ethical, that's peaceful, that's not caught up in greed, hate, and delusion, that's where we've come into this beautiful harmony of the dharmic body, the Dharmakaya, the Dhammakaya, the liberated body operating in the fullness of all its systems, integrated, harmonious, and free. So thank you for this week and for today, and I hope this has given you an interesting perspective for your body. And what I talked about today is of interest for you, maybe through this weekend you can spend some time meditating and walking and doing simple things with your body, and to see if you can kind of intuit or feel into what a liberated body is like. What is your body like when the body is not just peaceful or tranquil, but has a sense of being operating free of attachments, free of clinging. Thank you.